Well, thank you so very much, Dr. Jiguet. It is such an honor to be with you today. I also want to express my gratitude to President Barrett and the members of the Board of Trustees who are here today. And many thanks to Father LaRoche for that wonderful invocation and for our wonderful national anthem. But most importantly, I got a huge hello for all of you graduates. Good morning. I hope you're feeling really well this morning. I hope you were out celebrating last night. But if you were, you're not showing it. You made it here bright and early. You look energized. And of course, as we know, they knew better than to try to get undergraduates to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So once again, which I bet has been a pattern in your time here, you are the responsible ones showing up and showing out today. And I'm really proud to be amongst you and to be with you. And I know I'm not the only one. I know we've mentioned you before, but I think it's one more chance for this class to show some love to the proudest people in the room today, moms and dads, aunties, uncles, friends, cousins, mentors, professors, everybody who helped you get here. Please stand up, show them some love, because we are so proud of you today. Okay. It gives me so much joy to hear that. And it gives me just as much joy to be back in New Orleans to be a part of this celebration. As you heard, this is my hometown. I was born and raised not too far, well, I wasn't born here, I was born in Philly, but I was raised not too far away in Pontchartrain Park. And I'm really glad to have such a good reason to come back. You see, Xavier is also a special place for me. Both of my parents attended school here. My mother then worked here for many years when I was in high school and college. And then my brother and sister-in-law and aunt are all graduates of Xavier. I'm especially honored that my aunt is here today. I'm not sure where she's sitting, but she was really the first person in our immediate family to graduate college. And it was here at Xavier, and I attended when I was 10 years old. So for so many reasons, this school has been a part of my life and is very close to my heart. I know it's going to also hold a special place for you in your life and for your families going forward. Today marks a milestone, and you have all worked such a long time to get here. Today, for many of you, is a reflection of trading parties for study groups, trading your happy hours for professors' office hours, and trading the TikTok trend you really wanted to take part in for some time in the lab. I know you had to make these trade-offs over and over again, but it paid off. I'm so proud. Here you are. And when I stand up here for just a few minutes, I cannot help but be transported back to being in the place you are, when I sat and found myself wondering, okay, what comes next? Because for students like you, you've gotten to this day using the one asset, weapon that you have always relied on, your brain. You are smart. Your intelligence is the reason you're sitting here today. And maybe like you, I assumed at that point, at graduation, that it was going to always be my brain that defined me, that separated me, that became the asset of my post-academic life. It's a logical assumption. But I'm telling you, 30 years on, 40 years on, when you look back at what you've accomplished, the highlights will not be in the form of facts and figures or even dollars, but in human impact. So my message today is really very simple. You got here using your brain, but your ability to impact the world going forward will require you to use your heart. I graduated with a chemical engineering degree and went on to get a master's, as you heard. By then, I had focused my personal path on the environment. I did this not because I love trees, not because I plan to become a conservationist. I am told those things are quite important. I did it because I was acutely aware of the impact that chemicals can have on our family's health. People who lived half a world away, but also people in our community. So the path to environmentalism and that career actually was a decision not based on nature. It was a heart one, a heart decision. I had no idea when I made it that it would lead to a career at the EPA or President Obama or Apple. All I knew was that I wanted to ensure that the engineering that put harmful chemicals into the world would be used to protect people. It was a recognition that my brain and all that had been dumped into it over the past several years of learning could develop the solutions that my heart knew we all needed. It's a heart path. Like this one, there's one like that for each and every one of you graduates. And I hope no matter what form your career takes, you'll use your heart. Now there's a few essential steps. First, remember where you came from. Many of you made your decision to pursue an advanced degree at a time when the pandemic was disrupting everything, and no one could predict with certainty what the future was going to hold. For those who were already here, you had to persevere through some of the strangest, most unpredictable, and difficult periods any of us has ever known. You didn't do what a lot of folks did. Hang back, binge watch some TV shows, maybe figure out how to cook, make some bread. You said, nope, I'm gonna step up, I'm gonna be ready for a better day. That is especially important because of what many of you have studied and where you will go. The pandemic was devastating to watch, it was devastating to our schools, it was devastating to teachers and students. It put incredible strains on people's mental health. And it was just the most recent reflection of the burdens facing our public health systems and their outsized impacts on people who most need help. In Black communities in particular, the pandemic deaths reached disproportionately high rates. But now, because of your courage, because of your strength, because of your resilience, the world will have more of the exact people we need right now. More educators who are dedicated to improving schools and guiding students. More counselors who can be there for support. We'll have more healers and pharmacists and public health practitioners. And you will know how to address systemic disparities that leave far too many behind. Second, remember what you learned here. Now, we've all heard the phrase that not all learning comes from books. Your academics are going to serve you very well. But what you will lean on most is the heritage, community, and relationships instilled in you here. You are walking in the footsteps of your founder, St. Catherine Drexel, who used her wealth to create opportunities for others. She was so committed to what she knew was right that she secured the land for Xavier in secret and defied even her own church to get it started. She made possible everything that happened in the almost 100 years that Xavier has existed. Living up to that legacy is not going to be easy. Most schools don't have a founder who's actually a saint. But frankly, it's hard to imagine any group of graduates better prepared than all of you to serve the people and communities who are in real need right now. If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that we can't know what to expect. That's why we need people who are ready to step up, be bold when the unexpected and the unprecedented happen. People who are ready to persevere when things get tough. We need you out here. Final step I'll share for using your heart might be the most obvious of all. Remember to care. The solutions to the challenges I spoke about are not impossible to reach, but they will always, always fall short without compassion. That too is something you are well positioned for. As you heard, my brother graduated from Xavier. He often talked about how this school is committed to the success of all of its students. He said if someone was struggling, other students would pull together to help make sure they got by. And I've heard it said by other people that Xavier is not the kind of place where you're told, look to your left, look to your right, only one of you will make it. Instead, Xavier says we're all going to make it, and we're going to help each other get there. I have worked in government, in the corporate world, and with nonprofits, and I can tell you the ability to support people who need an extra hand, to ask for and accept help for yourself, to see your own success in the people around you, these are some of the most valuable skills you can have. I'm confident that all of you will rise when you leave Xavier because you learned how to lift each other up while you were here. You know that real ambition isn't about leaving others behind, and you know that truly improving the world around us requires a commitment to understanding. In this case, I will say, do look to your left and do look to your right. The diversity of the individuals you see and the perspectives that you have been exposed to are incredibly important. Many of you are headed into fields of service. Being understanding about different lived experiences will be absolutely essential. We need more people who understand that and each other out in the world today. Now, we feel so strongly about it at Apple that you heard we're investing $100 million in our Racial Equity and Justice Initiative. Actually, we're over $150 million now. We call the program REGI, and it's designed to advance racial equity in education, the economy, and the criminal justice system. And one area that we focus on is investing in courses of study and faculty support, mentorships, and networking and scholarships for students at historically Black colleges and universities and minority-serving institutions. We see schools like Xavier as some of the most important institutions in the world because we know what is possible when students like you, with the education you just got, tackle the world's greatest challenges. Back in 1968, when Norman Francis was inaugurated as Xavier's president, he said, Xavier has and can continue to provide the educational services for the struggle to right the wrongs, heal the wounds, to build the society all of us need and deserve. A lot has changed since, and so much more still needs to change. But the role of Xavier and its graduates to right the wrongs, to heal the wounds, build the society we need and deserve, that remains the same. I know you have a lot of ideas in your brain about where your time here will take you. My hope today is that the path will be guided at every stage by your heart. Congratulations. I'm so glad to be with you. Thank you.